Alright, yo, what's going on, good people? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. And today I'm coming at you guys with 60 card predaplants. Yeah, bro, predaplants. This deck's really cool, man. And it's also not easy to learn. I thought it would be easy, but it's not, and that's what makes me like it more, because I like challenging decks. If it's linear simplicity, and it's like a consistent linear simplicity, I get really tired of it. That's why I was never an avid fan of not Sky Strikers, but Trick Stars and Salmon Greats. Because don't get me wrong, consistency's there, but when your full combo is literally the same exact identical board over and over and over and over, but it's so easy and there's no challenge in navigating and getting to it, and it's like you don't learn anything, you won't get any better, and eventually like it just gets dull and played out. I don't like that, but I like that this deck was just like, wow, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. And I enjoyed that. It wasn't, most people would see that and they'll be like, oh, no, I don't want to play this, I give up. But for me, it was like, wow, now I want to play this deck more, because the fact that I can't crack it, like I couldn't figure out how the deck was supposed to be played, and I was like, dang, it makes me feel challenged as a deck builder. It made me feel a little bit inferior at first, but I was like, no, like there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to do this. So I challenged myself to make a really good Predaplant deck, and I like it. This deck is really cool. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings regarding Trick Stars or Salmon Greats. That was just the perfect way to reference, like what I was saying, like this deck, how difficult it is. That's what makes me attracted to it, and hence why I'm not attracted to the exact opposite, simple decks, because they're not fun if it's easy. I need the challenge, bro. But this deck's really cool. I think that Predaplants were definitely destined to be a board-breaking deck. They're destined to be a going second deck. I mean, everything about them, they interact specifically with your opponent's cards. So I feel that because the vast majority of them interact with your opponent's cards, you can't interact with your opponent's cards if you're going first. It's not a reactive deck. Reactive meaning we can set up cards that cannot prevent in a proactive manner, but that can actually respond to different lines of plays that your opponent's making. This deck doesn't really do that. I mean, we have a fusion that we can now sit on and have some sort of reactive play, but this deck is intended to wither and pick apart. Wither and pick apart. It's like eating. It's like it slowly just eats a board. It chips it away bit by bit, like a Cyber Dragon player, how you start off with a contact fusion, and then you go bit by bit, you kaiju a monster here and there, and then like you Pankratops kill that. That's how this deck's gonna operate, but it just does it in such a weird way that it was so hard for me to figure out how I'm supposed to get this deck to do what I think it's destined to do. And basically, whether this is how Predaplants are supposed to be played or not, I like this way. I like this way because this is something that I just figured it out, and it's enjoyable, it's fun, it's viable. I think this deck is really, it's better against combo decks, and it's really like mediocre against set 5 pass decks, because this deck can only interact with specifically monsters. It doesn't do fair against back rows, but you've got other cards to deal with that. So further rambling, we're just gonna get that out the way. No more rambling. We're gonna get into the deck before you guys. I promise. I just gotta get you up to speed with the deck and exactly what I've got going on with the build. And of course, you guys just gotta understand my thought process approaching the deck and how I got to this point with it. Because I wouldn't showcase you guys the list if I wasn't confident. Why do you guys think that sometimes you wait for something? You're like, I want a Herald update. I'm not going to put it up unless I think it's good enough. I care that much about my content. I'm not just going to rush it and put it up just to do it, just to get the instant gratification for you guys, to please you, just to say that it's done. No, we have to give you the best. So I wanted to show you guys this, knowing that, having the confidence that this is a good Predaplant list. Let's go ahead and start, you guys. We have 3 copies of Lone Fire Blossom. Lone Fire Blossoms, I'm going to play it in any plant deck, bro. There's no reason to not, play it in a plant deck. We have 3 Scorpios. Scorpio's nuts in his own deck. So these first 9 are actually all 1-card combos. They all actually do the same exact thing. They're going to special Predaplant from your deck. 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 Any plant, but it's going to be a Predaplant. So 9 1-card combos to start your deck off. Pretty consistent. Think of it as your, back in the day, Dark Warriors, right? You got your 3 Dark Referees, your 3 Armageddon Knights, and your 3 Vions. Think of that. That's the mindset that I had. I adapted that algorithm. Kind of like the algorithm that you apply to Cosmos with ships and pilots, where you need to balance out your ratios, and you have to have more of this certain portion and less of this. These are kind of like, these are your pilots, essentially. So you want to play more of the other cards, but these right here, like these are the first step on the ladder to a myriad of different lines of plays, and they just start everything for you. Like resolving these, you normally get a snowball kind of chain reaction going, where another thing leads to another, and before you know it, this all was all of this is possible because of that one Lone Fire Blossom, that one Scorpio. These are really strong one-card combos, you guys. The bodies are insane, too. So, yeah. So those are those, and we're gonna continue with the Predaplants. We also have so something weird. I'm not sure if they're trying like to be funny, but at first I thought like this was like chlamydia. Actually it is. It's chlamydia sundew, I think. But I was like, okay, so we got like syphilis and chlamydia. Like, why are we naming our Predaplants after sexually transmitted disease, Konami? Like, I just wanted to know that. But essentially, this guy's like he's like a 2-card combo. So you just need to pair him with another monster in your hand, or if your opponent has a monster that has a predator counter, this card actually lets you fuse with your opponent's monsters. I think that alone was like, wow, that's pretty nuts. Like that you get to fuse with your opponent's monsters. This deck is pretty weird. Weird in a good way, because it's like, it can break boards, but it just breaks boards in such a non-conventional way. It's not dropping a Twin Twisters or a Mystic Mine or Pancratops, you know? We're not doing that stuff. It's like, the Predaplant archetype itself has like a board breaking playstyle. It's weird, but it's like a very, very aggressive and dominant kind of playstyle. Chlamydia, as much as I hate his name, is a really good card. And even if you don't have a poly, he just lets you fusion summon. Like he's just like a poly on legs that also lets you fuse with your opponent's monsters that have predator counters. Getting predator counters on your opponent's monsters can make them become viable combo pieces for you. So that's something else really cool with Predaplants is that they can actually turn your opponent's monsters into combo pieces for themselves. So you don't always have to have a vast amount of resources. Like I was playing this earlier against Extra Deck Monarchs against my teammate. He was just on Pancratops, and I was realizing more and more like, dude, I'm making plays off this guy's monsters. I'm not even like, if he didn't have a monster, this wouldn't even be possible. So I just think that this is kind of really cool, and in a sense, it can be a little unfair, the fact that you don't even need to have the resources. You can just take them away from your opponent. But I just like this card so much. It helps to go on second game. It's spot removal that doesn't target or destroy. It's insane. We also play 3 copies of Star Regent. It's the searcher of the deck. You declare a direct attack. It can actually kind of cock block the attack a little bit. If it is destroyed by battle or left the field by a card effect, it searches any Predap card. This card, I didn't want to play it at 3 because you have to have it on field to get the searcher, but you need to maximize on a search card like this, because even if you open with it, you can actually still just normally, and you can fuse off with it and get its effect. But normally, this is the main target. Off of any one of these 9, you want to special summon this from your deck, and then you're going to fuse off with it. It's pretty good, trust me. Star Regent is nuts, you guys, and it can protect you from being OTK'd. It just depends. But yeah, you guys. So that's pretty much it for all your 3 of Predaplants. I played the best ones. There are some other Predaplants, like I have all of them. I have Squidricilia and all the other underwhelming ones, Nephentis and all that. Like, they're good, don't get me wrong, they are. They're good, but they're just not good enough. They don't cover enough ground, and they're just not as impactful. So we're thinking like individualistically, right? We're not thinking in a minimal mindset. Like, we're trying to maximize the impact. So how much value can get off one card? And I felt that these were the Predaplants that would get the most value individualistically without being paired in tandem with 2 or 3 extra cards. It just becomes like this. It's kind of existential, but I wouldn't say that. Okay, so yeah, these are the best Predaplants that I chose. So that's why these are in the lineup of 3. I also played the Hydra. I wanted to play Hydra and also the level 6. His name is Banksy Ogre. He's a tuner. He's a really good monster. He was doing some synchro plays for me. But I ultimately came to the conclusion that this card actually can just continually bring itself back from the graveyard. So once you've gotten him, you can just kind of outgrind your opponent with this card. It's really good. It can become very annoying. It's a pestilent card, you guys. It's really strong. It's like a kaiju. So you just tribute your opponent's monster that has a predator counter to special summon this guy from your hand to your grave. It has another grave effect that's very, very niche, and it doesn't even matter. Like, I never really use it, and it could come up, but it's so niche. It's just nice that it has another effect, though. That's cute. But yeah, this card's basically a kaiju. You have to give your opponent's monster a predator counter, but you have multiple cards that are also searchable that can distribute predator counters on your opponent's monsters. We have a spell card that can distribute multiple counters on multiple monsters. And obviously Cobra. Funny thing, right? Even if you don't play Predaplants, you'll see this in a lot of decks. Scorpio is just such a good card, but definitely in his own deck, he is insane. Like, Scorpio is a 1-card combo in this deck. Like, he is, whoo, he's bonkers. I do play some edge imps because I play a Frightfur patchwork engine in this deck. I like it. I've had this, oh yeah, you can also see it on the channel if you guys don't believe me. I have a duel of ABCs versus Predaplants on my channel. So I have had this deck for a while, but think about it. I've had this deck for how long, and I'm just now showcasing it? it's freaking hard, bro. Sometimes it just gives me headaches. So there's so many times I would just give up. I was just like, I don't want to do it anymore. But I was experimenting with this for, I'd say, months. At least 2 or 3 months, experimenting with the Frightfur patchwork package. And I was like, okay, essentially, the biggest beneficial crute mount that comes out of packwork is just like, it's searchable polys. But I didn't realize how good Edge of Chain was in this deck. And the fact that it's a free dark monster and also pays for itself, it's nuts. It's such a good card. Like, man. The way it's played in this deck, it's like, man, it almost is like it's a Predaplant card. It's so good. So those are the Edge Imps. I do play Dangers. Oh, Lord, here we go. Cry, cry, whine. Say it need to be banned. I do play Dangers in this deck. Also, the best synergy with Dangers is not only that they're darks, but because their levels are so high, they give you food and fodder, and also they allow you to abuse your greedy a lot more frequently than you can in a standard Predaplant build. Because normally the targets that you'll have for him in a pure Predaplant build would be the actual fusion. So you'd have to have multiple fusions in your grave to even be able to consider this card to be worth your time or worth the commitment. Because you have to commit quite a few resources to summoning this bad boy. But this card is insane. Like, I don't even understand. It's like, it's not even once per turn. It's like, why? Just like keep banishing it, bring it back, try to kill stuff, nuke, bring it back, nuke, bring it back. Like, it's like a board wipe that just, it wipes the field and then brings itself back from the grave. And then if you kill him again, he'll wipe the field and then bring himself back from the grave a second time, and the third time and the fourth, and he'll keep doing it until you run out of level 8 or higher dark monsters. So again, before you try to judge me for playing my Dangers, I have a very good reason for playing them. So continuing, we're playing 3 copies of Bigfoot. We have also 3 copies of Thunderbird. The good Dangers got sold. I flipped those because I was low on cash. I also played 3 Ogopogo because he's a level 8. Not because his effect's great, but because he's a level 8. Level 8 Dangers matter. You got to have high-level monsters because that monster... This is a going second deck, and I tell you one thing right now. This is what's known as a trump card, my friend. And you never, ever use your trump card first. You save it for last. And you also prepare and set yourself up for it. So your contingency has to be... I guess you have to say... I would say you have to accommodate for your contingency. And I do that by playing a lot of high-level Dangers that can be food and grave for this bad boy right here. Because if I've got to attempt to use his effect 3 times before I finally actually get to break the board, I will do that, but I just need the fuel and grave. So this is a really good board breaker card. It's insane. I'm also still playing Mothmans, and I'm still playing Chupacabras. I just don't have Nessies, Suits, or Jackies because I sold them all. So yeah, these are budget Dangers. These are all cheap. There's no reason why, you know, this should be a problem. It's not like it's a $300 engine. I've had these for a while, thank God, because Lord knows I can't get no new Dangers right now. But yeah, the Dangers have great synergy with this deck, you guys. So before you judge them and write it off as bad, like, trust me, try it out first. Dangers are one of the best things that's ever happened to Yu-Gi-Oh! In my opinion. Next up, I played a Shudo Mare. I'm going second. This is one of the best engines for going second. If I would, I just kind of wanted to just... If I could play it in every going second deck, I would, but I kind of just wanted to give my deck a way to kill back rolls, but also so that it's not actually Twin Twister stuff. I know Mystic Mind's a problem. I understand. I get it. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I know we can go back and forth on how many different things can stop how many different decks. I get it. I understand what problems are out there. I know what out. But I like this because it gave me a way to interact with back row while also simultaneously still being able to break combo boards. Because you'll have that variety with like a Salmon Great player, Skyshaker player. They'll have monsters and back rows. Well, with the Strudo Mirror package, it just kills cards. Like, you're going to go Yazi, you're going to pop card, then you're going to go into some Nightmares, you can go into a Security Dragon, you could just start clearing threats and go into a Ningaritsu, just start getting rid of some stuff, seriously. Like, it's just super good. So yeah, I like this. And another reason why, before, again, somebody like, I just have to, because they're going to drop a comment about it anyways. But again, the reason why we don't play Twin Twisters is because Mystic Mind is not as viable going first as it was before because Metaverse is at 1. So the most people, actually, I think, I've only seen it, in my eyes, in my experience, I've only seen Mystic Mind being played as in a going second decks. Like, many 3 Mystic Minds, like Sky Striker players and some Salmon Great players. And because of that, I'm not scared of Mystic Mind because I'm a going second deck too. I want to go second, you know? So it just... That is like a dice roll situation, but I'm not going to worry about Twin Twisters for Mystic Mind if I want to go second. Why would I worry about somebody having a Mystic Mind up and then passing turn? Nobody does that in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore. I also play Orcust in my deck. They synergize with this deck very well. Also, a problem with Predaplants is they can't do a lot on their own if you take away their normal summon. You take away their normal summon, you need to danger it up, bro. You need to danger it up, use some dangers, get some bodies on the field, and go into an Orcust combo. Because I realized that Heretic Seal is such a problem, bro. It really is. It hurts. It's like the Heretic Seal can just end. It could just end my turn. It's not even about the sloth. You can kill the sloth. It's that it takes my normal summon, basically. Like, when you normal summon a Lone Fire or a Scorpio or the Chlamydia guy, they have to stay on board. You need them to stay on board, plus the monster that they summon to stay on board. If you want to do the combo the conventional way without having to find some different loophole. So yeah, I love the Orcust. They help a lot. You don't have to exert yourself so much when you have Orcust in your deck. So it makes combos a lot easier. It's more sufficient. You know, it just allows you to play through more. Just higher ceiling in general. So yeah, definitely want to incorporate the Orcust in this deck. Predaplants are good by themselves, but I literally played Predaplants pure for months, and as much as I didn't want to play other versions of it, I just decided ultimately that pure Predaplants are not going to be good enough as a going second deck if I'm trying to break boards like Thunder boards, for an example. Now for the spells, we have 3 copies of Frightfur Patchwork. Frightfur Patchwork is like a pre-prep, but for a fusion deck in a sense. For this deck, it's a pre-prep. We also have 3 copies of Frozen Rose. 2 of them are proxies, so as you can see, the deck's still not even complete, even after all this time. Why 3 stacks? Because I have, like, I think, over 100 decks, and, like, it's so hard to just upkeep with all of them, and then, you know, building new decks, and then getting, I don't know how many requests every day. It's just really hard, you know, like, it takes you time to finish something because it's not the only thing you're working on. I really wish I had these 2 Frozen Roses, though, because I think this is the last thing I need. I want this deck to be finished so bad. It's been taking forever. But I need these 2 Frozen Roses, and I believe that that'll be the last thing that my deck needs as far as the main deck goes. I do main 3 Allure of Darkness as well. I was playing Beginning of the Ends, but I found that I was tampering too much, and I was trying to force it to happen, and I don't like that. Like, when you have a beginning and end, you get greedy, you want to resolve it, but what I was doing was I was throwing combo pieces away and resources just to try to load my grave up for beginning, and I took it out because of that, because whenever I saw it, I started making reckless and irresponsible plays. I also play Return, so for its draw power, you just got these and the dangers, these 4 draw spells. And then your searchers are your Frightfur Patchworks and then the Frozen Roses. Any danger plus a Frozen Rose is like so nuts, you guys. It's really, really good. So essentially, it's not a 1-card combo because you have to have a body on field, but it could be considered a 2-card combo. So it gets you access to one of your 9 1-card combos. So essentially, you play 12 of them. So those are like your starter cards, kind of like your engine cards. So your playmakers, your board makers, and then you've got your board breakers. Your main 3 Super Polys in this deck. Also, a fun fact is Starving Venom belongs to this deck. It came from this archetype. And Draco Stapilio belongs to this deck. Also, this deck can search Super Poly. So yeah, fun fact, they play Super Poly a lot better than just random decks that are just side decking 3 Super Poly just for going second to have a better chance. So just keep in mind that Super Poly has a bit more synergy than you think it does. Don't just think I'm playing Super Poly just because it's Super Poly. It's searchable and also has great synergy with your lines of plays and your combo sequences. And it's nuts when you're trying to OTK your opponent and you just Super Poly in the middle of battle phase and make like a greedy or a starving and just kill them. So yeah, Super Poly is extremely reactive, and also it's an end-all be-all because they can't respond to it. We have 2 Predaplants. This card is actually very dangerous in tandem with Super Poly. So the thing with this card is people don't understand what Predaplants do. They don't know what the deck's supposed to do. I didn't even know what the deck's supposed to do. So it's like you don't know what to negate, and that's a very traditional thing. When you play a deck you haven't seen before, you don't know how to interact with it. You don't know what to stop. This card should be negated, technically. But because it doesn't have anything in its text that poses a threat, and because most people don't know what like predator counters mean, well, like you're like, what does that mean? My monitor has a predator counter, what does it mean? So most people wouldn't negate it, and I like that. I appreciate the fact that most people don't negate it because it's not very threatening. Because they don't negate this card, you will activate a Super Poly, and if you're playing Thunder or Pendulum, you get to make this bad boy using their monsters, and guess what happens now? Because they didn't negate that Predaplast, and if they did, that's fine, but if they did not, because they did not negate that Predaplast, they have just sacrificed all 5 of their gates. They sacrificed all 5 of their negates because they didn't negate that one Predaplast. Why? Have you read Draco Stapilio? monsters on the field with predator counters can't activate their effects, basically. That's essentially, he's just negating their activated effects. So you can't negate anything more because you can't activate the effect to negate. So essentially, I don't have to play through 5 negates anymore. They don't work. So I like Predaplants and Super Poly. I was considering playing 3 and 3 because like it's like a wombo. Like they have to negate it, and it's, of course they'll start catching on games 2 and 3, and they'll be like, okay, now I have to negate this. But the fact that you can steal wins undeservedly with this just because no one knows what Predaplants does is amazing, and it has a good graveyard effect. So you got your board breakers, also more playmakers. We got Poly, and then I chose one of each for the Predaplants extenders / reborn cards. These are not once per turn, and you can play 3 of each of them. You can actually maximize on them. But they were searchable, also they were conditional, and the requirements had to be met in order for them to be a viable combo piece in my hand in the first place. And I also like the choice of getting them when I need them versus having them when it's not necessary. But they are incredible, and I would play more, but the thing is, it's a going second deck, and I'm more concerned about killing my opponent than I am about having 3 or 4 Monster Reborns in the same turn. Because you actually just, really, you only need one of them, and you could search either one of them. And that's the thing, like the 9 1-card combos that I was explaining, you get out Star Regent, and you resolve Star Regent to search out any one of these. If you were fortunate enough to draw one, then you search the second one, and that's a crazy combo right there. But Ponix is a continuous, in every turn you get an extender. Just reborn every turn. It's really good, you guys. So again, and I have to explain all these things, so for anyone watching the video, it's like, oh, I already know what Predaplants do, you don't have to explain. It's not for you then, bro. It's for people that don't know how this deck works. I'm never going to leave you guys in the dark, you know this. I'm not just going to say 3 of this, 3 of this, 3 of this, that's the profile. I want to help you guys out, man. So, for the extra deck, these are the fusions I played. Played one of each of them. Of course, you should play more of certain ones, but my extra deck is ridiculously tight, and I haven't been able to find space for more. So if the instance ever came where there was like a grind game where I just needed another Chimera Flazier or another Dracosepalio, instead of actually playing a second copy, this is your honorary second copy of each one of these. Honorary. Why? It targets any Predaplant in your grave and summons it. And it does not negate its effect. You read it, it's just literally target Predaplant monster in your grave, special summon it. But it is equipped to it. So essentially, that's the beauty of Predaplooning. Because originally I was just going to play Ponix, but Predaplooning allowed me to mitigate the issue of extra deck space. And it essentially is the second copy of whichever one of these that comes up. These don't ever come up more than once. They're already pretty niche, and also the interaction is so straightforward, and when it happens that like you can't make another one after that. Like it just, I'm telling you, man, it just doesn't happen the way you think it does. Like pen and paper is different than real life. You really just need one of each. That's it. Even if I was playing pure Predaplants, I would only play one Starving and only one Greedy, but I'd play multiples of these. Then we have one Yazi. Where's my boy at? Well, Yazi, because the Shudo Mermare is actually insane against everything. And then I played Dingirsu because there's Orcust in my deck. That's pretty much everything through this point is going to be links. So you got your 4 fusions, your 1 sync, your 1 XYZ, and then the rest are links. So you got Borosword. This deck makes Borosword very efficiently. So it's like a Borosword turbo deck. And I think it's primarily because of just like Scorpio being so busted. And the fact that you have like 9 Scorpios, it's so easy to make them when you just go for a Scorpio play. And Star Regent, Fuse, get your Pruning, your Ponix, Extend, Special Morph in your grave, bring this bad boy out, going for some kills. We got Ningirsu and Dingirsu. I believe this guy is basically an evil, twisted version of him. And I'm pretty sure she used to be a World Legacy monster too. You've got Galatea or Galatia, however you want to pronounce her name. I think that these are the correct ratios for my deck, the way it works. I'm not Orcust-eccentric. My Orcusts are not here to last more than 2 turns. Normally it's 1 or 2 turns, and I don't need it after that. And then we also have am I pronouncing her name right? Aroma Seraphic. I'm just going to call her Jasmine. We have Jasmine. She's really good in this deck, by the way. Got some spot removal nightmares. And of course, Mermaid. Can't start your Orcust combo without a Mermaid. And finally, Link Karibo. Spider did not make the cut. I could easily cut in for Link Spider, but dude, like you're playing dangerous. You have a ton of other monsters. Like the only time Spider becomes like super mandatory is when the only monster on your field is Mermare, and you're working solely with just Mermare and the tokens. That's when it's like you have to have Link Spider, but it just doesn't come up because you have. I mean, dude, like you play so many extenders, it's crazy. What I like about this is now the Yazi Mermare becomes that much more impactful. that I can deal with multiple cards that can't be targeted or destroyed, because I can literally go Link Kuriboh, go into my Nightmares, co-link, pop, draw, make this bad boy, sack a card away that couldn't be targeted or destroyed, go into my Orcust combo, sack another card away that couldn't be targeted or destroyed, summon my Ding Ding, sack another card away that couldn't be targeted or destroyed, and even if I didn't OTK them, there's nothing left. Like, they vomited out their extra deck in hand, and you clean their clocks with a Yazi So, Yazi paired with extenders can actually break, like, you could clear, let's see, I mean, just these alone, you're clearing 3, 4 off of the Yazi, 5, 6. Yazi with extenders goes into the Orcust combo, so you should be able to clear 6 cards, and if you have your resources adequate, you should be able to clear 6 cards and land on a Boar Sword, and that does happen. It just depends on the turbulence that you receive on the way there. But that is the deck profile, you guys. Thank you so much. I have a lot of stuff to do. It's about 5 in the morning. I'm showcasing updates for Galaxy Eyes, trying you guys. Man, it's starting to get tough because I got people that are getting really upset saying it's taking too long, I'm one person, there's 12,000 of you. I'm trying, man. So sorry for the, long wait on the updates. Updating True Fire King Cosmos. This is my preferred method of playing Cosmos. I like that way better than the Demise variant. Pick your poison. You can play Cosmos so many different ways. I'm updating Necros. I've got a really cool build for Necros now. Losing Pot of Extravagance just basically it opened the space for creativity because I was trying to find a suitable replacement for Extravagance. So it I did something really interesting. You'll see it in the profile. And then I'm also updating my Herald of Perfection deck, of course. And then I'm going to be updating my yeah, these bad boys are ready. Look at that. Like, finally we got the link, bro. And shout out to my boy. He was just on Pankertops. He actually bought that from me today at the mall. But yeah, we're ready, bro. Like, Dragonides, this is one of the profiles I'm hyped for right now because, dude, that Dragonides are better now than they've ever been. Ever. So yeah, you guys, definitely stay up, and if not, you'll be able to watch these profiles tomorrow. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. You folks have a beautiful night, and stay positive, all right? Peace out, yo.